Okay. 1.4, comparing and ordering integers. We're gonna put numbers in order. Woo, woo. Okay, integers are numbers, okay? Numbers as in anything that is on the negative scale, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, all numbers, okay? Negative integers are numbers that are less than 0. Positive integers are greater than 0. You guys should know that from 2nd grade probably. I'm assuming now.
No.
Yes. So integers are numbers, and then there are negative integers, which are less than 0, and there are positive integers, which are greater than 0. Okay? Main things you need to know right there. Then we're going to look at a few problems. This has a whole word problem too. I'm going to read it, but I copied the table, which is the main stuff we need from it. So I'll read you the setup to give you a pretty picture. Okay? It says, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. But some animals can resist freezing by producing a chemical that lowers the temperature at which the water in their body freezes. How cool is that? I think that's really cool. That guy created that. I want to have a temperature that I can lower. How fun would that be? Which freezes. The temperature is called the supercooling point. I also like the name supercooling. It's like, okay. Which of the insects listed in this table has the lowest supercooling point? So, here are the animals. You have an Arctic beetle, a gal beetle, a goldenrod galfly, I have no idea, a snow flea, and a woolly bear caterpillar. Okay, and they freeze at negative, or they drop their temperature to -54, -35, -9, -19, and -70. It says determine which insect has the lowest supercooling point. Graph the integers on a number line. Okay, you think we can do this? Where would I graph -54 on this number line? Roughly, yes, Bree.
After that, -50, yeah.
Which side, right or left? Good. So someplace around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, -54. Then we want to graph -35. Where was that go? Yes.
It would be between the 30 and the 40.
Beautiful, like right dead on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and -9. Someone else, shout it out from your rooftops. Where's -9 go? Yeah, where's -9 go?
Oh, look right there.
Like, what?
Between the 0 and 10.
Thank you. The 0 and 1, 10. Which
Negative 10.
Oh, beautiful, thank you. So right about here, right? Now, -19, who else can tell me where that goes?
Between the, you said -19, so
Uh-huh.
between the -10 and negative.
Beautiful, between the -10 and the -20. And someone else besides these lovely gentlemen, where's -70 go? I know, Greg, you did a
Not
good
lovely
job.
gentlemen.
Yes, you. Oh, look, beautiful, it fits right there, yes? Okay, now, so after we graph it, they wanna know which one has the lowest supercooling point. Yeah, Gabby?
The woolly bear caterpillar.
The woolly bear caterpillar, because the lowest in this case is actually the highest
highest.
number because it's a negative. Yeah, the lowest is the highest.
Strange.
It is strange. Okay,
Just the whole.
absolute value, have you guys dealt with absolute value before?
Yes.
Okay, absolute value has those little bars, right? And there's like numbers or equations inside of them.
Oh, I know.
When I take the absolute value of something, what am I doing? Have you seen the absolute value?
I've seen it. My dad explained it to me like
Okay.
once.
So these little bars would be saying the absolute value of something. So if I put a number in here, like 6, okay?
Negative.
The absolute value is the distance away from 0. Okay, it's a distance. Can I have a negative distance? Mia says no, and Mia's right. No, I cannot have a negative distance, okay? Because it's how far away is my number from 0? Look at this. If I have a number line, and here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? How many spaces is this away from 0? 6, okay? If I go here, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. How many spaces away is this from 0?
6.
6. So when you take the absolute value of something, it always comes out positive. Okay, because it's talking about how far away am I from that specific thing. from 0, or how far away is 12 from 2. It's always a positive number. So if there is a negative inside of here, and I'm taking the absolute value of -6, my answer is still going to be 6. Okay? If I'm taking the absolute value of 6, my answer is 6. It always comes out positive. Yes, Kim?
If you put the negative on the, like,
Oh,
outside.
yes, if I put the negative on the other
That's
side, that changes the game and it becomes negative.
Alright,
But if the negative is on the inside, okay, because if the negative's out here, I take the absolute value of 6, which is 6, and then I have to multiply it by this -1 that's
Oh.
technically there,
Yeah.
okay? But whatever's on the inside comes out positive because it is a distance away from something, okay? So, if I want to state the absolute value, here they didn't put it in the bars because they're telling you in the directions, tell me what the absolute value is. So if I want to state the absolute value of 5, what is it?
5.
5. Okay, 5. What is the absolute value of -7?
7.
7. Okay, so we're going to talk about absolute values. When you have absolute values, you always get a positive answer. Remember that. Okay, now, we also are going to talk about opposites in this section. Opposites have the same absolute value but different signs. Meaning this. This is common sense. What's the opposite of 6? -6. Okay, what's the opposite of -15?
15.
So when you are doing opposites, you literally are just doing whatever is opposite that number. But when you are doing absolute value, it always comes out positive. Okay, don't get those two confused because they're gonna put them on your test and quiz together. And so you need to make sure you read directions, slow down and read, okay? Because if we just skip through the directions, we're gonna get those problems wrong, and those are easy ones. You shouldn't get those wrong. You know what the opposite of something is. You can do the absolute value of something. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then the last thing we're gonna do, of course, is we're gonna plug things in and solve.
Woohoo.
Why wouldn't we? So it says evaluate the expression when y equals -5. So if this is the equation, -y, what do I need to do to solve this?
Put the -5 in instead of the y.
Okay, but remember there's a negative on the
Oh.
outside here. So I have a negative and then I need to do parentheses -5. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, because this has to plug in for the y, but I still have a negative on the outside. Okay, if there is a negative right here, what number is always in, like with that negative?
1.
1. If there's not a number with it, it's 1. So I have -1 times -5, which gives me
5.
5. 5, because a negative and a negative is a positive.
It's a good little
Yeah. Negative and a negative is a positive. Don't ever forget that. Okay, now, on part B, they switched it up a little, they added more to us. I have 17 minus the absolute value of y. What do I need to do first before I even try to solve this? What do you have to do with this? What do I need to do with that y? Bree? What's the directions tell us to do with that y?
The y is,
-5.
Yeah, so I need to plug -5 in there. So I'm gonna copy everything else down, 17 minus absolute value of -5, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now, order of operations, okay? Now, I know in order of operations, it tells me PEMDAS, right? Parentheses, exponents, da-da-da, okay? We're going to go ahead and do the absolute value before we do anything else. Because absolute value, in my mind, kind of goes along with parentheses and a little bit, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do that so that we can solve this. What is the absolute value of -5?
5.
13. Sorry, what?
You were coming up with the full answer, weren't you? Not what I asked. Okay, so I have 17, and I have to keep this minus sign,
Mhm.
but you told me the absolute value of -5 is
5.
5. And what is now 17 minus 5?
13.
13. What?
12.
12.
12.
Haha.
13.
He led you astray, it's 12.
Yes.
Caleb, how dare you? Okay, now, I have questions for you so that you can ask me questions, okay? Does any of that not make sense right there? It makes sense now?
Yeah.
Good, okay? So here's the deal, do you see how I wrote out each individual step?
Yeah.
Okay, do that for me. I'm telling you, if you practice it now in pre-algebra, it makes algebra and algebra 2 and especially geometry much easier. Okay? Wait, what? I said it makes your life easier in the long run if you practice good habits now. So, show me each step. Okay? Here's the deal. If you want to, I'm okay with you having a different color of something, like get a different colored pencil, get a different colored pen. And sometimes I do this and I'll like circle this in red, and then wherever there's a Y, I just plug it in red so I can visually see it. If you need to do it that way, do it that way, okay? Or just plug and go. Whatever floats your boat, okay? So I will give you homework if we don't have questions. Child.